Here are 10 interesting facts and details about why seawater is salty and whether the saltiness is the same across all oceans. 1. Seawater is salty because it contains dissolved salts, primarily sodium chloride, table salt, but also smaller amounts of other salts such as magnesium and calcium. 2. The primary source of salt in seawater is the erosion of rocks on land. Rainwater dissolves minerals from the rocks and carries them into rivers, which eventually flow into the oceans. 3. The salt content of seawater is not the same in all parts of the ocean. The salinity, amount of salt in seawater, varies depending on factors such as temperature, evaporation, and precipitation. 4. In general, seawater is saltier in areas with high evaporation rates and low rainfall, such as near the equator and in the subtropics. It is less salty in areas with high rainfall and low evaporation, such as near the poles. 5. The average salinity of seawater is about 35 parts per thousand, ppt, which means that for every 1,000 grams of seawater, there are 35 grams of salt. 6. However, the saltiness of seawater can vary widely. For example, in the Red Sea, the salinity can be as high as 41 ppt, while in the Baltic Sea, it can be as low as 7 ppt. 7. The salt content of seawater also varies seasonally. In areas with a rainy season, the salinity can decrease as the freshwater runoff dilutes the seawater. In areas with high evaporation rates, the salinity can increase as the water evaporates and leaves the salt behind. 8. The saltiness of seawater also affects its density. Salt water is denser than fresh water, which means it sinks to the bottom of the ocean and can create currents. 9. The salt content of seawater is important for marine life, as many marine organisms have adapted to live in a specific range of salinities. For example, coral reefs thrive in areas with high salinity, while certain species of fish and shellfish prefer lower salinity levels. 10. In addition to being a source of salt, seawater also contains other important minerals such as magnesium, calcium, and potassium, which are essential for the growth and survival of marine organisms. Overall, the saltiness of seawater is a complex and dynamic phenomenon that varies widely depending on factors such as temperature, evaporation, precipitation, and geography. While the average salinity of seawater is around 35 ppt, the actual salt content can vary widely depending on location and season.